I might be considering Alter from a very early interaction lens, so maybe this comment is better warranted to make when we consider song and visualizer added into our considerations. But I would just say right now, when I look at Alter on a superficial lens, this is a bold work. I'm not surprised at giving the attribution in any way to Written by Wolves, so I would classify in other ventures as being bold, and those swings have been successful hits in my opinion. I say that as somebody who's followed the group for a number of years. I've specified before with 3 opportunities we've had to consult their work to perhaps together mutually, maybe for some of us for the first time, whether they be Give Them Hell, or Give 'Em Hell, Misery, and Take Me Home. And I would recommend going in advance to Alters you witness those works first, and then maybe return, because those songs were something special. And if you've not been introduced to Written by Wolves, right, I've said this many times, in respect to numerous talents actually, I don't want to override anybody in consideration of those I've welcomed in past music coverage consideration here. There are certain groups that when I was mulling over development of what this would look like as a facet of this channel, music coverage specifically, I've wanted to bring it on since the channel's founding, really. And to do so over the last 2 to 3 years or so in such a successful presence has been a true satisfaction for me on my long-time ambition. But there are certain groups that, going in, I knew I wanted to do coverage on. In particular, I always say this with regards to music I consult. I do very much feel like an anomaly in my day-to-day interactions. I do not have much cohesion among my face-to-face contacts. With many of you, it's been the case, and it's been wonderful to see that there are other rock and metal music enthusiasts. Well, generally, I'll keep it inclusive here because I do cover some tracks that might diverge. Maybe I have some upcoming that will be in different formats. Maybe some people approach not being necessarily a big rock and metal enthusiast like me. That is a particular favorite of mine in the musical arts landscape, which, as I've said many times, the first love amongst the different types of languages we have in the entertainment sphere. But if you're just into good art, I love being able to showcase that and perhaps providing routes for you to enjoy new artists that you've not yet welcomed into your company. And take that path with me as we explore good works again on a typically first interaction basis with some deviation. With Written by Wolves, I have no adjacency in my personal life, and I wish I did. I knew their fan base, going in, to covering them first was quite strong. I myself happen to have a deep relationship with this group going back a number of years, ever since, to tell you the truth, I think unveiled itself around that time. That's when I was first introduced, and ever since I've greatly enjoyed all my minutes with this group. I'm sure Alters will speak to the same path, and if you've not humored them before, New Zealand alternative rock, and they're generally rock. I mean, there might be some metal intersection, but it's typically more of like a rock lens, at least from my standpoint, but they do have a wide variability in their application, which I do admire. I love seeing that broad approach, especially when it's done well and effectively. Written by Wolves, time and time again, has demonstrated this proficiency that I just greatly admire, and a beautiful rawness to their work, with some creativity. As I said, bold. That's how I would categorize this song, just on, again, an early look. And we have like a full-on visualizer as well. And the last couple pieces have been more so performance-esque. This is termed in official music videos. Well, I mean, the last ones were too. We'll see which route this goes down. But I do have to give you this background a bit. Again, some songs that we consider here might take a bit of a broader lens. I would imagine this one has applications for such... This song has paths to be articulated as a little more nuanced depending on subjective viewer experience. But if you want a good foundation going in, because I think it's a song that could speak to anybody really in different facets of life. I did see this in passing from Upset magazine, and they noted a couple statements here, whether it be about the song or the video's intent. I'm just going to pull out the entire section verbatim because I think this is so fascinating. So, first on theming. Alter is a realization, a call to action, a moment of understanding, a decision to let go of what hold you down. Again, this real cathartic, raw, contemporary lens. This is very true to their work. You've not humored them before, so I'm not surprised at all that this would be, especially following off the previous works, that this would be where they go. To shed the unnecessary negative influences that so often rule our lives and cloud our judgment, it is the simple action of allowing yourself to no longer worship the parts of society that are not designed for the betterment of life and humanity. I like that philosophy. Now, the video alters the first look into an ongoing cinematic multiverse where the mirror's image may show you things you don't necessarily want to see, and every crack in the glass a vision of a timeline long forgotten. I consider other entertainment ventures that I've recognized more broadly here, right? Many of you would attribute, again, the film side and cinematic ventures, and we have a multiverse trend right now in many of the larger, well-known Hollywood IP franchises. Specifically among like comic book lines, we've been seeing maybe some deviation from that. I mean, there's talk about Star Wars going that way too. So, I mean, again, the multiverse application is like all the rage right now. Whether that may be you know, excessive. We'll see what I don't know. I mean, again, I've heard a mixture of opinion on it, but it's a dominant thing, at least in some storytelling, to see that intersect of Written by Wolves and there being a blending between entertainment facets of sorts, and what I've covered on this channel is quite funny. As I said, bold, but let's see its application in full for ourselves. Again, I think I'm right in calling it an ambitious release, and to experience it Written by Wolves, going on faith, I would say this is going to come across as, I'm sure, a successful work of theirs. Every piece that I've consulted and had the pleasure of enjoying with you, and it's been an honor to cover Written by Wolves, as it generally is any artist I recognize on this channel, whether they happen to be more potent names, maybe some that you've not yet been introduced to because they might be, at least depending on your own social circle, a bit more limited in appreciation. But let's welcome their company together for the first time, perhaps for some of you. And again, I welcome anybody who's a longtime fan as well, right? I'd love to have that diversification if at all possible. But maybe some of you, again, are approaching on a first-name basis. I cannot wait for you to be introduced to them. Here we go. Let's take a look at Alter and consider this work for ourselves for the first time together. I love enjoying music that way. And for Written by Wolves, it's just been such a wonderful opportunity to recognize their works. Here we go. All right. Oh, hang on. Perfect. Let's see which path it goes down to in terms of application, because again, Written by Wolves can be a bit varied in their direction.
I got something I've been wanting to say, and I know it's not black and white, it's shades of gray, and I know I gotta let go.
Micah's vocals here are quite beautiful. It's a softer song. I see the potential rock insertion, but so far it's more like a pop ballad. Beautiful perspective to this.
I'm not your soldier, it's over. I won't kneel at your altar. I'm not your soldier.
I like the drama of it. It's a beautiful number, and the chorus section is exquisitely written.
See the game that you've been trying to play, and I know there's no way and now it's ever okay, and I know I gotta let go.
This is a beautifully designed work in my opinion. I absolutely love it.
What you're trying to do is make us obey, and I know
on tone it works. Sufficiently mixed. I think my favorite in creativity and ambition among the songs we've had the pleasure of consulting together. This is beautiful. I'm just stuck right now in this fascination with the song, just listening to it. Again, every second I'm just taking in because it is so strong creatively. And this idea might be expressed quite often by other artists and other types of songs, but I love the way it's stressed here. This feels particularly original.
I'm not your soldier, it's over. I won't kneel at your altar. I'm your soldier.
I wonder if it would return. I could have seen it gone in Beach Path. End with the softer pop refrain or come back to the rock. I'm glad there's a rewind. But the build-up is incredibly effective. Preview? Oh, I love it. Now we feel cinematic. It feels, again, you talk about an intersection between entertainment mediums and cinema coming in on the multiverse trend. Here we go. Now you really feel it based on that teaser. I love it. Beautifully ambitious song, and I think it's a satisfied vision for sure. I mean, I kept wanting to comment on it, but I'm sitting back like, I just need to let these lyrics soak in. It's really well written. Where's the... I'm not surprised at all from them. Again, the catharsis of what's stressed, and I've said this many times, people personally that I know never understood why I gravitated so deeply into the rock sphere. It is for the rawness and ambition of honesty that the rock genre so routinely presents, and with Written by Wolves, that's always been a fret of reach for me. I've loved how honest these songs are, but how creative they are on stressing, I can't be part of what you're built here, and I know I won't kneel at your altar. I love that. I'm not your soldier. It's over. I mean, again, like I said, I think this song could be, when you define it according to subjective experiences, right, and you add nuance to it, it might have a bit of a divergent path and application for sure. I experience it, and I can see own paths of where I have been, how would I say it? Because I want to keep it married to the philosophy of the song, but I could see, again, like I said, you know, music is individually defined in how we experience it ourselves in isolation. And when I look at this song, I see paths of my life where I have... I'm in a phase now where this matches completely with the way I live my life. I won't kneel at your altar. I'm not your soldier. It's over. Oh, it's just beautiful, man. That section specifically just really sinks into you, especially when you've lived a life that it speaks to on the opposition. Whatever it might be. I've been a sort of foot soldier in different facets of life, whether it be just in more negative experiences. Well, generally, yeah, that's what it's been for me. I won't go into detail. I'll keep it simple. I maybe, talk about things in discussion in the past. Maybe we'll come back to maybe some of those topics eventually, but I want to keep it simple for now. I just think it's beautiful. It instantly marries to where I've been in life, and now where I'm at, where this self-led, isolated deviation, just to live a happier and more fulfilling life. This is completely just speaking to my heart right now. It's gorgeous. The evolution of a number, though, and how that marries to the tone. I like this pop flair. It's more than that. This is a good compilation, I would say, and mixture of their talents. If you've not experienced Written by Wolves before, it's a good harmony of different elements at play in the alternative space. As I said, variability and broad application for how they exercise their creativity amongst each track really individually, although some might take on more of a rock route, others might be a little more sentimental and softer. Let's say the last track we witnessed, Take Me Home, was like this. There's that strong rock fret, especially in the chorus sections, but it takes on more of a ballad area in the verse sections, and it works for the number. I think it beautifully aids again to the tone. Similar experience here with this. We have a hybrid between a alternative pop rock ballad and a stronger rock rooted number. I think it works, especially when you consider the evolution of the piece completely, and you look from verse to verse and you see that build up, especially on the chorus sections, like starting again with the pop side, it being more subdued, and then to refrain on that at the end, well, near the end, wonderful to have that recap. Again, it provides this beautiful conclusion on structure. But as I was saying, with the second verse to then add in this intensity and aggressiveness with the rock fret, beautiful choice. I love the application of this song. It's beautifully written. I expect that, and I always get it with them. And it instantly just connects. The lyrics just, I love the way they write their songs. They just Written by Wolves has such a keen ability to speak to people. Whatever facet of life we're in, I've just found such creative expertise in how they reach their audience. And again, I'm just speaking on my own experiences, but I can imagine this could be a replicated journey for others out there. Maybe you would wish to supply confirmation on that. I'll leave it up to your own determination, of course, but I just think this song is quite beautiful. Whether you look at the narrative or you consider the track's evolution and the musical instrumental side, it perfectly works. And the visualizer is a good performance to boot, with a hint of what's to come, apparently, in this concept. I think it sounds great. Obviously, we have more to look at from them, and as I've said with respect of many artists, and really any artist on this channel, open door policy. I cannot wait for the next opportunity to consult Written by Wolves with you and to engage with their work mutually, and perhaps provide a route again for interaction if you've not yet had a deep experience with this group. If you've not even just been introduced, this could very much be just a one-time occurrence for you so far. But I would compel you to look deeper. Again, I would highly recommend you consider those earlier works that we've enjoyed together, whether they be Give 'Em Hell, Misery, or Take Me Home, all of which are strong. If you want to dig in their back catalog, it also would be a generally rewarding experience for you as well. I speak from experience on that. I've listened to my knowledge, every song they've ever put out, and I can speak to, again, their credit as artists. I welcome their company. I love hearing their works, and to enjoy it with you, even better. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in this piece, and from whatever angle of approach you take. Longtime fan, maybe some of you, again, we share a commonality in that. I would love to hear if that's the case. Again, my life feels so isolated these days, but I appreciate hearing that there is at least some mutuality out there. Or, well, I mean, again, I might say I'm an anomaly, but I do consider it a point of strength. I don't say it to be self-derogatory. Take, for example, Written by Wolves, and many of our artists as well, but specifically this group. When I consider my anomaly standing, I don't have general cohesion among my peers. I consider that a point of strength, because maybe I wouldn't have been introduced to Written by Wolves earlier on, or maybe I could have in the future, but it might have looked entirely differently if I weren't on an independent journey of sorts. I love the ride I'm taking. Music is just such a rewarding experience in terms of art to consult and to recognize and to humor it with you, in terms of just highlighting good art, and to provide paths for you to enjoy art that an artist you've not yet been introduced to. If I can satisfy that ambition anyway, even better. I'd love to hear from anybody who takes that fresh interaction lens as well. Again, I welcome the company of longtime listeners of theirs for sure, but if any of you have not yet humored Written by Wolves since it's your first opportunity to do so, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on Altar. This is definitely one of their stronger pieces, and I hate to rank things, I've said many times in the past, but it's one of my top favorites so far of a lineup that we've humored together, for sure. And I think the other numbers have been just as great, but Altar is something special. I love the scope of it and its narrative and how it just clicks immediately, and the way it's written. That chorus section still stands out to me. I absolutely love its rawness. It just speaks directly to where I am. And it's just so beautifully articulated, especially meshing the music to it. This is a fun, as I said, ambitious piece on face, but ambition to be expected, Written by Wolves, well delivered on. I cannot wait to humor more with you. As we will be, given that teaser, for sure. But Altar is something special, as really anything from Written by Wolves has, and it's an honor to be able to recognize them on this channel and enjoy them with you mutually. They deserve every fan they have. I'm honored to be called one. And I hope that maybe some of you will find yourselves down that road. I would recommend going deeper with it if you've not yet been introduced. It is worth your time, as Altar speaks to beautifully. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.